All right, let's get right into the controversy now. Just about the time you left, the Jerusalem Post reported on a conference here at Yale by something called the Yale Initiative for the Interdisciplinary Study of Anti-Semitism. The director of the initiative, Charles Small, criticized inaction on what he said was Iranian genocidal anti-Semitism and abuses of its own community. Also, a man identified as a Canadian legislator, Irwin Cotler, who was the keynote speaker at the conference, said the precursors to genocide were more present in Iran than they were prior to any past genocide. So, how are Jews being treated in Iran? What sense of that did you get?
Well, nothing like what was being said at that conference. We did have the opportunity to meet with Jewish leaders in Tehran, and some members of our group met with Jewish leaders also in Shiraz. And some members in our group actually had dinner with the leaders in Tehran. Patty and I met with two leaders who were administrators of a Jewish charity hospital in Tehran, which was a hospital started during World War II. And as they described it, they talked about how it's a hospital that provides the quality of care of a private hospital at the cost of a public hospital. It used to serve primarily Jewish patients, and as the neighborhood has changed since the revolution, it's 95-96% of the patients are Muslim. What to me was very moving of what they shared with us in our meeting with them, one of whom is currently a member of parliament, because the Jewish community in Iran has a seat in parliament guaranteed. The current population of Jews in Iran is about 30,000, and about half of those are in Tehran, and we were told there are about 10 synagogues or so in Tehran. There's also a sizable population in Shiraz and Esfahan. But what to me was very striking was how much they claimed their Iranian nationality. They're Iranian Jews. I mean, that's a very critical part of their sense and of who they are. And they acknowledge that there's some problems have to do with inheritance issues, blood, what's it called, blood revenge. But those are...
what is blood revenge?
You know, if somebody is killed, there's a price for their life.
Like in an automobile accident.
And more value is placed on the lives of Muslims than of Jews or other minorities. And so that's being addressed. And one of the things that he said is there are problems, but nothing's impossible. And they've been working on those problems, and so there's more equity in terms of things like inheritance laws and the like. And so we were not hearing anything that was would suggest that comes. I mean, I'm not sure what they're saying about what's in place in terms of genocide, but there was certainly nothing that we were hearing at all. You know, one of the most sort of prominent issues gotten a lot of press is about the president Ahmadinejad having his Holocaust-denying conference, and they spoke to us about that, saying, first of all, no Jews from Iran went to that conference, and they all sort of rolled their eyes and were very embarrassed by it. And the day of that conference, one of the people we met with spoke out against, you know, that.
Spoke out in public against it.
Yes, he actually gave a speech let's see if I can find he gave a speech saying that what President Ahmadinejad said was an insult to the Jewish community all over the world.
Was he arrested?
No.
We also had Islamic scholars, Muslims, sort of turn their eyes down and say in a very heartfelt kind of way what an embarrassment it was to them as scholars to deny the Holocaust because it was irrefutable. It happened. I mean, it just happened. There are rooms full of, as they said, rooms full of evidence of this. The other famous quote of Ahmadinejad's that gets bandied.
We'll get into that later.